Hello friends, you're with a lonesome gamer, and this morning I'm playing Talisman 4th edition. So my voice might be a little deeper than usual, but that's because it's early in the morning and then it's always like that. Okay. So let's start with the Warlock. Well, this is my second video of this session, so basically right now there is not a lot happened. The Warlock is actually already doing a little better than the others. He has a pretty good weapon here, the Shadow Dagger, which gives him 1 to craft, or during the night 3, and the Wolf Slayer, that gives him 2 to strength, or during the night 2 to craft. So that's pretty good actually. Okay, so well, let's see. He can go now 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be the graveyard, which is probably not the best idea. Let me see. Replenish fate up to your fate value at the cost of 1 gold each. Well, it's not that bad. I could also move into the city. It's got 1 fate left, so maybe that's not a bad idea. Could go there and well, why not? I don't know. Maybe it's a better idea before going into the city, collecting a little bit of money and yeah, okay, so I guess he moves here to the graveyard and nothing special happens here. Okay, and now it's the Highlander, and he is actually still standing here at the mountain trail. So he might now move into the Highlands. And I'm really thinking about doing this actually. Okay, so as you can see now, we are at the point where we have an extra board here. This is the Highland board. And we also had to move our heroes here to this other table. Because there's not enough room now left here on the big one. So this guy now will use his turn to move into the Highlands here to the Highland entrance. And it simply says draw 1 card. So we draw now a card from this Highland deck and see what happens. Well, it's a good start. This is a Wind Rider. A merciless Wind Rider keeps a watchful eye on this area from above. It will remain here until it is killed. So this guy has a strength of 2, but because it's night, it's a +1. So it comes with a strength of 3. And let's see what he rolls. Well, I could now use this charge ability here and add 2 to my attack score. But I think I won't. I got a strength of 4, so I think I won't do it. I will risk it. So the guy attacks and he has a 6, so got a pretty good chance that I can beat him. Yes, I did. Very good. So that's my first trophy then. Strength of 2. Okay, and then it's the Dark Cultist. And that is a 5. Could move into the hills or the temple. Yeah, not the temple, the fields over there. Well, maybe the fields are a little more interesting. Oh, I don't know. I mean, she could also attack. She could stay here in range of this of the Warlock and maybe attack him. I think I won't do that. So I move here into the fields and draw just a normal card. And that is a poisoned dagger. Weapon. Add 1 to your strength during battle. If you roll a 1 for your attack roll during battle, you may roll an additional die and add the result to your attack score. Well, that's a pretty good one. And it fits to the Dark Cultist. So next turn for the Warlock. That is a 2. I think he will go simply to the village. Yeah, why not? I think he moves to the village. See what he can get. Goes to the Mystic. That's a 3, so he's ignored. And now it's again the Highlander in the Highlands. Okay, there's one thing I want to point out. I already explained that according to my house rules, you cannot enter the Highlands or basically any expansion in the usual way that you simply move from the cracks here to the Highland entrance. That's because I want to keep the Highlands or basically the expansion boards something special, and I don't want the characters only hang out on the expansions boards, but I still want to play the classic Talisman game, the outer middle region. I really love that. So the only way to enter these expansion boards is basically through special cards like that, like the Mountain Trail for example, or through rune gates. You can enter a rune gate and then you'll be teleported randomly to any expansion board. But on the other hand, it is possible to leave an expansion according to the normal rules. So if I would like now to leave the Highlands, I could move from here to the cracks. That is allowed. Okay, so let's move this guy now. Movement in the Highlands is basically the same. You simply move like this. You follow the trail like that here, just like this. You simply roll a die, can move on, but you can also move backwards. Not in the same movement phase, of course. You cannot move 2 back and 2 forth and 3 back or something like that. But you can move forward, and then in the next movement phase you could move backward if you like to. Okay, so let's see. So that is a 1, and that means that we have to move the Reaper again, and we can move to the hills, and that's great because now I'm allowed to draw 2 cards because I'm a Highlander and I'm allowed to draw 2 cards here. But first we'll move the Reaper, and if we roll a 3 we could attack the Dark Cultist with the Reaper. And we have. Well, that's amazing. That's something that happens very Not often to me. So we move here. And now the Dark Cultist has to face the Reaper. Well, that would be one of his greatest days, probably, because he's loving this guy. If he rolls a 1, though, he's really in trouble. So, well, let's see what happens. Simply rolls now on this Reaper chart. And I'm not sure... Well, actually, he doesn't have a fate token. I'm not sure if he would have been allowed to use that here, because it's the use of fate tokens is a little bit restricted. You cannot move them for every rolls. But it doesn't matter because she has a fate token anyway. So if she rolls a 1 now, she's killed right away. Pretty crazy. And that's a 4. So I think she can live with that. It says game of chess. Miss your next turn. Okay, that could be definitely worse. So she now is kind of delayed. We will lay her miniature down and in the next turn we'll stand her up again. Okay. So she was kind of lucky here. Okay. And now it's again the Warlock. Warlord. Yep. And that's a 6. Oh, wait a minute. That... Oh, come on. No. Just a second. I forgot to... Yeah, of course. I forgot to draw cards from the hills here. So, I've got to draw 2 cards now. And... let's see. Well, first we have a Frost Giant. Oh, that's a pretty tough guy. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. A Titanic Frost Giant is lumbering around this area. He will remain here until he is killed. Okay, well, let's see. It's not so bad, actually. We have the Warhorse. I forgot that in the last turn, or during my last fight. And I can charge, and I will do this now. So I could add now 2 to my attack score. If you charge, you must miss your next turn. But that's okay, I guess. So now I have an attack score of 6. And I can add my psychic, my craft value. So that's a 2. So I got an 8. And the Frost Giant has a 7 because it's night. Well, it's still pretty close. So let's see, the giant attacks. Wow, that looks good. So that's a 9. So all we need is a 2 to win this. That would be great. Come on. Yes, fantastic. A 5. Here we go. So that was awesome. We could kill the Frost Giant, and that allows us to trade these 2 cards for another strength point. Because you can always trade 7 points for 1 additional strength value. Okay, so we have now a strength of 5. But because we did this charge action, we have to miss the next turn. In addition, we found that Sage Owl. So that says, the Sage Owl will remain here for the rest of the game. On your next turn, during movement, you may move any number of spaces up to your die roll instead of moving the full distance as indicated by the roll. Well, it's interesting. Now, because it says on your next turn, So technically, I have to miss my next turn. So I think. Well, it's not exactly the intention of the card, but I think actually I cannot use this ability simply because it says on your next turn you are allowed to do that. Yeah, I'm not absolutely sure about that, but I will play it this way now. Okay, so that was quite a success. And then it's the Dark Cultist, and she can now stand up again, but do nothing during her turn. So then it's the Warlock again, and that is a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So moves here to the Sentinel and draws a card. Well, that's a Yeti. And that's a strength 4, so because it's night, it's strength 5. Pretty tough. But the Warlock is not bad too. He could either use Dominate. I think that might be a good... He could use Dominate. Enslave one enemy you are about to encounter instead of attacking it. Not a bad thing. With a strength of 4. Not sure. On the other hand, well, these things here only help him when doing psychic combat. Because it's night. So I think he will now use this spell, Dominate, and it says, cast when you are about to engage an enemy in battle. You may enslave one enemy you are about to encounter instead of attacking it. The enslaved enemy becomes your follower and adds its strength to yours in your next battle, after which it retreats to the discard pile. So I guess that's a pretty useful action here. We'll do this, and that allows us to take the Yeti as a follower. Very good. And then it's again... it's now the Highlander, and he misses this turn. So the next turn he can move on. And we got the Dark Cultist. And that is a 6. So she might try again to fight the Black Unicorn. But I have my doubts that it makes a lot of sense. Yeah, she's not strong enough to do so. But she could also move here into the fields and use this Lantern Sprite. Take a secret look at the top card of the adventure deck and place it face down in front of any character of your choice. Okay. Let's see. So that is the Orb of Destiny. When you pay a fate to reroll a die, you may roll 2 dice and choose which result to use. If you roll doubles, discard all of your fate immediately along with this card. Well, it's definitely not a bad card, although it's not the greatest one too. Especially for her, because she doesn't have any fate tokens. But anyway, I think she'll place it in front of her. And so she would draw this card then during the next turn. Okay. One more turn for the Warlock. And well, Actually, he can now gain one spell. So, and that is Vindication. Cast on any character at the start of his turn. The character must draw one die to pray. Well, why not? Could play that on the Highlander, I think. That's a pretty... could be a pretty painful card. Okay, and then he could move, and that is a 5. Let's hear the Plains. Or the Boneyard. Well, there's nothing happening at the Boneyard right now, because on the discard pile there is no monster, so I think we'll move here to the Plains and draw a card. Oh my god, that is the Lord of the Pit. Strength 8, Craft 8. The ruler of the Pit Fiends has emerged from the inner region. Well, the Pit Fiends, I think they're actually here. So it's now, he now appeared here and claimed this area. If you kill the Lord of the Pit, you may teleport to the plane of peril. You must choose whether to attack the Lord of the Pit using strength or craft. Yeah, great. Oh my god. Wow, that's a bad one. Well, on the other hand, I could try it in craft. I'm pretty good actually fighting with craft. So I have a craft value of 5. And we got knight now, so that means that this guy has a value of 9, but the dagger adds 3, so I'm at 8, and the wolf slayer actually adds 2. So I have a value of 10, which is pretty amazing. That's just crazy. Okay, so I think I will, yeah, why not? I mean, let's do it in craft. No need to be afraid of this guy. So he attacks. Well, that's it. I did it. No, not, did I? Well, he comes with a 10 then, because, yeah, I did it. If I roll, I will win. Because he's got a +1. But I have also a 10. Pretty amazing. So I killed the Lord of the Pit. That is awesome. So now I could actually teleport to the plane of peril. Well, don't know if it's such a great idea to go there. Well, I could then try to move to the Warlock's cave maybe and get a quest there, but I don't know. I gotta think this over. Okay, I mean, why not? I simply move here to the plane of peril. Well, first of all, it gives me this kind of motivating feeling to be first in the inner region, which is, yeah, as I said, kind of a nice feeling. And then I move back in the next turns, and I try to, maybe I can get here a Warlock's quest, which might be an interesting option. Damn, I'm still not sure if I want to do that. But I think I can. I mean, it's easy to go back. Okay. And then I can trade this card. And I will gain an additional craft. So now I already have 6 craft, which is definitely fabulous. So it's getting a little more interesting now. Getting a little bit stronger. Cool. So the Highlander. It's now his turn. Oh, wait a minute. I might play the spell on the Highlander. Let me think about that. Okay, I think actually the Warlock, he will play that spell on the Highlander, because there is nothing the Highlander can win if he prays, and he must pray, because a 5 will bring him to the up to his life value where he already is, and he can also replenish his fate, but he already has his full fate. So he does this spell now, and the Highlander must roll. Well, that's a 5, that's fine, so nothing happened. But there is no reason for the Warlock to keep his spells, because he can draw more spells at the beginning of each of his turns. And by the way, because he now has a craft of 6, he's now allowed to have 3 spells, which is pretty awesome. And then it's the Highlander, and he can move now. And that is a 2. So the Highlander will move here to the ridgeway. Cross the ridgeway, roll 1 die to see what dangers lurk on the ridgeway. Okay, let's see. That's a 3. That's not exactly great, I think. That's here. Rock slide. Lose 1 life. Okay. I think we will simply accept that. I could pay a fate token to reroll, but I think I won't do it. Okay. So, and the Dark Cultist again. She is over there, and she must now place that card on top of the adventure deck. To be honest, I don't even really... it was this orb. Yeah, the Orb of Destiny, I think. So, why not get this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, actually, there is no way to get that. Come to the chasm, which is to the craigs, which is definitely not good. Or here into the tavern. And I think I'll move into the tavern and roll a die here. So I cannot draw this card. So that is a 5. I think that's actually pretty good. So let me show what we got here. I'm going to move around this table. It's all a little narrow here. Not so much space left. And it says... A wizard offers to teleport you to any other space in this region as your next move. Okay, we gotta remember that. This might be useful. Though I'm not absolutely sure about that. Well, we'll see about that. Okay. So I guess now we'll do one more turn. And it's the Warlock now. And he's actually allowed to draw 2 spell cards now. And that says Reanimate. Cast on an enemy you just killed. Place this card on the enemy. The reanimated enemy becomes your follower and adds its strength or craft to yours during one battle or psychic combat of your choice. Then discard this card and the reanimated enemy. Okay, so that's similar to the domination, but, well, actually it's not the same. We already have this Yeti here. And that is Soul Shatter. Cast on any character or creature who you are about to engage in psychic combat. If cast on a character, he loses 2 lives. Oh my god. If cast on a creature, it is killed. Enemies killed may be taken as trophies. Well, that is a fantastic card. Pretty powerful spell. That's great. Okay, and then we can roll, and we are here on the plane of peril. But we definitely got to go back, simply because we don't even have a talisman. I mean, and there's no... We're much too weak to try it through the perils of the inner region. So that is a 3. That's 1, 2, 3. We could go to the Hidden Valley or to the runes, and I think I'll go to the Hidden Valley and draw 3 adventure cards here. Okay, here we go. So that is a 4. Now we got this Orb of Destiny, exactly. So it allowed us, if you pay a fate to reroll a die, you may roll 2 dice and choose which result to use. Okay. Well, that's okay, I guess. Well, wait a minute, that was actually... We're not allowed to use this right now, because first we have to resolve the cards in order of the numbers here. So we have to start with this guy here, the Evantide Invoker. When revealed, flip the time card to night. Well, that's the case actually. If you kill the Invoker, flip the time card to day. He will remain here until he is killed. So he comes with a craft of 5. And I have a craft of 6. Plus the Dagger. So that's then 9. Plus the Wolf Slayer, which is then 11. That's amazing. Okay. So this guy attacks, and he has now a strength of 5. But there is no chance actually. That's a 3. Okay, I killed him. So now I got here craft trophies worth 6. That's not quite enough to trade it. And now we flip this card here to the daytime. And now I'm not quite that strong anymore, because Shadow Dagger adds now only 1 to my craft. It's definitely stronger during night. And but I can add 2 to my strength now. So yeah, it's a little more balanced. I'm not that strong in psychic combat anymore. Okay, so what do we have here? That's the Horn of Summoning, a magic object. You may blow the horn whenever you land on a space with instructions to draw 1 or more adventure cards. Before you encounter the space, you may move 1 face-up enemy in the same region to your space. You may only do this once per turn. Well, that could be great. Let's imagine it is night, then we can actually really fight some creatures in psychic combat, and we could all move them to our space then. So that might be a good item. And then we gain this Orb of Destiny. But slowly we are approaching our carrying limit. Can only carry 1 additional card, so maybe it's a good idea to gain some... Well, it would be good to gain some Porter or Mule or something like that. Okay. So it's now the Highlander again. And that is a 2, so he can again move to the hills, which is good, and he is allowed to draw 2 cards because of his special ability. So he draws 2 of these cards here. Okay, so first we have here that is a Sky Seeker. Craft 2, a vigilant Sky Seeker patrols this area from its winged mount. It will remain here until it is killed. So, because it's now day, it has only 1 craft. And I have a craft of 2. Okay, I cannot use the Warhorse here. I can only use this during battle. That means I can only use this when using my strength value. This is called Psychic Combat. So I gotta be lucky here. So the Sky Seeker attacks. That's bad. That's a 7. I don't know, it's a 6 because of his. So I need at least a 4 to make a draw. It's not gonna be easy. Nope. I think what I'll do is I will pay one of these fate tokens and roll again. Oh, let's hope for the best here. Yes! Yes, I did it. That's a 5. So I even managed to kill this guy. Very good. And now, as kind of a reward, I will gain this Lucky Charm. You may discard the charm when you are about to make a die roll. You choose which result on the dice you use instead of rolling it. Well, that might be helpful. Okay. And now it's the Dark Cultist again. And she's here in the village. Oh yeah, and actually she could now move to any space in the region because the magician allowed her that. I'm not sure if I want to do that. She could again move here to the Lantern Sprite. That's a possibility. I don't know, it's all not that great. I think I'll simply roll and try to draw an adventure card. So that's a 3. So we end up here in the plains and simply draw a card. Okay, that says Portent. Event. So, if you draw an event, we have to flip the card so it's night time again. All characters, no matter what region they are in, may accept a Warlock quest. The portent then vanishes to the discard pile. Well, that's great. Okay, so now we come to these Warlock quests, and this is this pile here, and we simply draw a card and it says what you have to do. The rules say that you can actually draw the card and then decide if you want to accept it or not. To be honest, I play this with a house rule. I draw a card and I have to accept that quest. So that's it. If you manage to fulfill the quest, you are teleported to the Warlock's cave and you will gain a talisman then. So that's definitely a good thing. So first the Warlock himself will draw one. And that says, deliver, discard one magic object. Well, that sounds good. A talisman cannot be crafted from nothing. It is more than a shape, more than a symbol. A silversmith could not make what you need. I can, and that is why you have to come to me. but I will require raw materials to do this. Materials that you must provide for me. Okay, so we have basically enough magic objects. We could simply throw away the Orb of Destiny. It's not that strong, and yeah, why not doing so? And then the Highlander. Deliver, discard one weapon. Do you think your armaments are what make you powerful? Ha! They are your greatest weakness. True power comes from a very different source, and you shall not have the talisman until you rid yourself of your trifling delusions. Well, that is not that great because we don't have a weapon, but okay, I mean, during the later game it should be possible to buy a weapon somewhere or so. So this is also a quest that it's possible to fulfill. And finally it's the Dark Cultist now. Well, that's an easy one. Kill one monster. And who are you to make such a request of me? What good have you done for the world? Seek out what is wicked in this land and strike it down in the name of righteousness. Only then I shall grant your wish. Well, I guess that's a fair quest. Okay, so I think this video was now definitely more interesting. The game starts to get some flow, and some interesting things happened. Characters are getting a little more powerful. I think especially the Warlock with his amazing craft value and these great items. But also the Highlander here with his strength, warhorse, and maybe the chance to gain some good cards here in the Highlands. I think these two characters are a little in the lead. The Dark Cultist is not doing so well, I think, but well, that can happen. Let's see. So hope to see you in my following videos. Until then, bye.